Welcome and thanks for your interest in the Puget Sound Partnership. My name is Laura Blackmore. I'm the Executive Director. This video provides an overview of our agency's work and presents our proposed draft list of significant agency actions under the HEAL Act. We hope it's helpful to you as you consider providing comment on our proposal. Under HEAL, we must conduct environmental justice assessments for anything that we decide is a significant agency action. Environmental justice assessments will help us consider overburdened communities and vulnerable populations as we're making decisions and assist us with the equitable distribution of environmental benefits, reducing harms, and identifying and reducing environmental health disparities. But first, we have to identify our significant agency actions. So here is how the HEAL Act defines them. This is the definitions section of the HEAL Act, which is RCW 70A.02.010. Number 12 talks about significant agency actions. And so the first one is the development and adoption of significant legislative rules. We are not planning to adopt or propose any rules this year. The second one is the development and adoption of any new grant or loan program that were authorized or required by statute to carry out. And again, we're not aware of any new grant or loan program coming our way and don't plan to propose one. So we don't have anything under letter B. A capital project grant or loan of at least $12 million or a transportation project grant or loan of at least $15 million. And we do co-manage the Puget Sound Acquisition and Restoration Grant Program with the Recreation and Conservation Office, so we believe that that would fall under letter C. The submission of agency request legislation to the Office of the Governor or the Office of Financial Management. As of now, we are not planning to submit any agency request legislation this year, but obviously if we change our minds, we would add that to the list. And then letter E is any other agency actions deemed significant by the agency consistent with RCW 70A.020.060, which looks like this. This section of the statute gives us permission to add significant agency actions during this biennium if we wish. After July 1st of 2025, we must consider our activities and apply environmental justice assessments to any that we consider significant. So taking all of that together, this slide presents our initial proposal for significant agency actions under these two sections of the HEAL Act. As I mentioned, we would include the Puget Sound Acquisition and Restoration Grants under letter C of section 01012. And then under the other section, we would include two items: creation of our 2025 to 2028 science work plan, which would kick off, we think, in 2024, and creation of the 2026 to 2030 action agenda, which also would kick off in 2024. And I will next provide some background on our agency so that you can better understand the scope of our programs, so you can think critically about this proposal to help as you're creating comments. The Puget Sound Partnership was created in 2007 in response to the decline in the health of Puget Sound and its salmon. This slide provides the legal context for our work. We are a state agency, obviously, created under RCW 9071 to oversee the restoration of Puget Sound to health. In addition, the state legislature gave us the responsibility to create a plan to recover Puget Sound salmon under RCW 7785. We are also part of the National Estuary Program under the Federal Clean Water Act. And we are an unusual state agency in that our programs focus entirely on Puget Sound. We do not work in other parts of the state. We are also not a regulatory agency, so we don't enforce any laws or hand out any permits. Our vision is of vibrant, enduring natural systems and communities, and our mission is to accelerate the collective effort to recover and sustain Puget Sound. We are a backbone organization, which is one that supports a myriad of partners to develop, hold, and adapt a common vision over time. Generally speaking, what that means is that our primary function is to create the plan for Puget Sound and salmon recovery, And generally speaking, our partners are the ones who implement the plan. We have three primary roles as a backbone organization: charting the course, managing shared measures, and supporting partners. And I'll talk a little bit about each of those. The primary mechanism we use to chart the course is called the Action Agenda. Our current one is the 2022 to 2026 Action Agenda for Puget Sound. We collaboratively develop the Action Agenda every 4 years with literally hundreds of partners. The Action Agenda presents the big picture of Puget Sound recovery. It identifies recovery priorities and also includes human well-being and environmental justice outcomes. One of the sources that we use to create the Action Agenda is our Science Work Plan, which we create every 4 years also. The Science Work Plan identifies the science and monitoring questions that we believe need to be answered to accelerate recovery of Puget Sound and our salmon. Our second role is to manage a system of shared measures. The Puget Sound vital signs are measures of ecosystem health and progress toward Puget Sound recovery goals. We report on our system of shared measures every 2 years, and our next version actually will be this fall on November 1st of 2023. The State of the Sound report presents ecosystem and human well-being status. It describes our accomplishments and presents a call to action for increased effort toward Puget Sound and salmon recovery. And lastly, our third role is one in which we spend a lot of time, is supporting our partners. We do a number of things in that arena. First, we mobilize funding, which means that we work at the federal, state, and local level to increase funding for Puget Sound and salmon recovery. As part of that, we manage the Puget Sound Acquisition and Restoration Grant Program that I mentioned earlier. That is a capital grant program that provides funding for salmon recovery projects, particularly acquisition, so purchasing of high-quality habitat and also restoration. We also work with our partners to identify and address policy issues that may be standing in their way as they are trying to implement our action agenda. We spend a fair amount of time educating key decision makers, in particular federal, state, and local, and we try to provide them with the information that they need to make better Puget Sound related decisions. And we also have a strategic communications team which provides videos and does magazine articles and things to tell the story of Puget Sound recovery, get our successes out there, talk about the accomplishments of our partners, and exhort people to make ever more progress. So that is the agency in a nutshell, and I will return now to our initial proposal for our significant agency actions. So as I mentioned, under RCW 70A02.01012C, we would include the Puget Sound Acquisition and Restoration Grant Program. And then under the other section, we would include the creation of the 2025 to 2028 Science Work Plan and the creation of the 2026 to 2030 Action Agenda. So that is our initial proposal. And of course, if we decide to propose a rule or agency request legislation or create a new grant or loan program, we would add it to the list. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. And we do hope that you will comment on our proposal. To do so, please visit the website that you were at to find this presentation. Or you can send an email to my colleague Melissa Schutten at melissa.schutten, SCHUTTEN, @psp.wa.gov. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you.